Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to NEWSROOM. I'm your host, Khalid. Today is Monday, the 8th of November 2021. These are the stories that we'll be discussing during the course of the show. We'll begin with the second phase of the Khalistan referendum that happened in two corners of London, in which more than 10,000 Sikhs took part, British Sikhs took part in this second phase of the referendum. The first, of course, phase happened on the 31st of last month. This happened in Gurdwara Singh Sabha in Southall and Guru Nanak Marg Gravesend located in the east end of London. Now, why do this? Because of the continuous barbarities that are happening within India, not only towards Muslim but also towards the other sects, towards the other minorities that are present inside of India, including the Sikhs. And of course, the 31st of October is a very important day for them, on which the first phase of the referendum took place, and this is the second phase of the referendum. How important is this in this whole context of the regional scenario and also what is happening in India? This is what we will be discussing in our first story. Our second story, ladies and gentlemen, concerns also India. In fact, it concerns Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation has reiterated its continued support for the plight of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and their struggle for the right to self-determination. This was said by the OIC Special Envoy on Jammu and Kashmir, Yusuf Al-Dobe, who talked to the representatives of the All Parties Hurriyat Conference, AJK chapter in Islamabad. And of course, he also said that the issue of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir is as important as that of Palestine. And of course, he said that there was already a resolution that was passed in September this year, and he said he will take up this matter again. And of course, the OIC will continue working for the rights of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Then we'll be talking about the Afghan Taliban, who have appointed governors and military commanders on key positions at the provincial levels on the directives of the group's supreme leader Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada. Taliban spokesperson Zabiullah Mujahid gave details of the new appointments in a media brief on Sunday. This is going to be our third story. And our last story, ladies and gentlemen, in fact, our second last story concerns a tweet by Fawad Chaudhry Saab, our Minister for Information, who has said that Pakistan has topped the World Normalcy Index, which shows our continuous fight against COVID-19. This Normalcy Index has been published by The Economist today in a huge report that talks about all the different countries that are working towards progress as far as alleviating the effects of COVID-19 is concerned, and Pakistan tops that list. That is why our Minister for Information was felicitating Pakistan. And then the last story, ladies and gentlemen, is on rather a sad note. Celebrated drummer Zulfikar Ali, otherwise known as Pappu Sain, passed away in Lahore on Sunday after a protracted illness. He was suffering from cancer, was admitted to the Pakistan Kidney and Liver Transplant Institute for almost a month, where he succumbed to his disease. He was an extremely renowned drummer, and of course somebody who was revered to in all the melas and internationally as well. He was part of many important groups, and whether it be the Rafi Peer Theatre or with another group lately, of which he made that fusion of the Eastern and Western, but he was very, very well known in the Punjab circuits. Let's begin with our first story, ladies and gentlemen, that concerns the second phase of the Khalistan referendum that took place in two parts of London, in which more than 10,000 British Sikhs took part. More in the following report.
The Hindu nationalist BJP regime is unabashedly exploiting the minorities of India in their bid to further subjugate and marginalize the already suppressed groups. The Sikh community of India has endured cold-blooded atrocities of successive Indian governments, and apparently they have decided to break the shackles of Hindu tyranny. Khalistan, or a pure land for Sikhs, has remained a dream for Indian Sikhs and the strong diaspora who recognize the bloody events of June and November 1984 as a Sikh genocide. In order to fulfill their dreams for independent homeland, thousands of Sikhs from across the United Kingdom took part in a referendum under the supervision and monitoring of a non-aligned panel of direct democracy experts named Punjab Referendum Commission at the request of US-based Sikhs for Justice, SFJ. The voting in Khalistan referendum was initiated on the 31st of October 2021 in the Queen Elizabeth II Hall next to British Parliament in Westminster, which attracted more than 30,000 Sikhs from across the UK. More than 10,000 British Sikhs took part in the second phase of Khalistan referendum, marking their enduring commitment to the Khalistan cause. Ironically, India has threatened British Sikhs of strict action such as cancellation of cards and visas to India, but the participation of thousands of people from Sikh community had shown to the world that Khalistan had the support of entire spectrum of Sikhs across the world. The rigorous Sikh activism has vividly depicted that India is a fascist state which believes in the supremacy of Hindus only and doesn't tolerate other religious minorities.
Now, to talk more about this issue, we've been joined from the United Kingdom by Paramjeet Singh Pamma, who is a UK coordinator for the Khalistan referendum. Paramjeet Singh, thank you very much to have joined us. How has it been for the second phase of the Khalistan referendum? How was the attendance? Because, of course, as per the reports, more than 10,000 British Sikhs took part in it. How was the response overall?
It was tremendous. It was fabulous, actually. You have probably seen through your media persons were there. There was thousands of people in the lines to cast their vote. So overall, it was tremendous, and there was lots of people to vote for the freedom of Punjab.
All right, sir. Also, the first phase took place on the 31st of October. That was also a huge success. And this one is even a bigger success because it was held in two other places of London as well. But in between that, there were threats that came from India. How has your organization, how have you taken these threats?
This is just a joke for us. We are a very democratic people, and we do not care about the India as a fascist state. And they continuously saying the Sikhs are terrorists around the world. But we prove to the world we are democratic people. We want freedom from India. We do not believe in violence. And through your channels, through your media, we are spreading this news continuously around the world in every single country, wherever the Sikhs live in. So we are coming in every single country where the Sikhs lives for this referendum, and be ready for the cast your vote for the freedom of Punjab. And peoples are crazy to vote for the freedom of Punjab, and we do not care about India. All world know India is in a terrorist country. We just want to prove to the world we are not the terrorists. We are a freedom lovers, we are a peace lover, and we are the activists, not terrorists.
But Mr. Paramjeet Singh, why this blame game as far as the Sikh community is concerned by India over the decades? Why this attitude that has been continuously perpetrated towards the Sikh community when you have been one community that has really contributed to India?
This is because they all I can say they do not like the Sikhs, and they want Sikhs to stay with them, and because they have done a genocide of Sikhs in India. They have killed about 150,000 Sikhs during the freedom struggle in India. So they want us to be with them. But whatever they have done with the Sikh community, all the Sikh communities in the entire world, they do not want to live with them. So we want freedom from India at any cost.
All right. Paramjeet Singh Saab, also a new map of Khalistan was unveiled on the first referendum for Khalistan that happened on the 31st of October. Has that been widely accepted by your community?
Peoples are crazy about this map. I'm telling you, all this map belongs to the Sikhs. All the places been highlighted in the map has been established by the Sikhs. So we are claiming this map from India, and India has gone crazy about that map. But all this map is entire Sikh state. So India can't do nothing. With this vote, with this referendum, we are going into the United Nations, and we know we're going to win this claim. That territory belongs to Sikhs, not to India.
All right. Mr. Paramjeet Singh, you've also added some new places, some new areas in this new map that was unveiled on the 31st of October. And of course, you say there has been an overwhelming response by the Sikh community as well. How was the response also from the Britishers in the United Kingdom when these two phases of the referendum were held?
They were very supportive. You probably know the 31st of October, the referendum took place by the Westminster Parliament, just in front of the Parliament. This building belongs to the Britishers, so they permitted us to do a vote, to cast their vote for the Khalistan referendum.
All right. Paramjeet Singh Saab, when do you intend to go to the United Nations to submit your resolution for the formation of Khalistan?
As soon as we finish this referendum around the world, because this is just in the beginning on 31st of October, probably will take a few more months, because Sikhs live in around the world and many countries. So we want to go every single Sikh to cast their vote. So it probably will take about 6 to 8 months to do a referendum around the world wherever the Sikhs lives.
Also, sir, what are the other countries that you are expected to go to hold the further cycles of this referendum?
As I just mentioned, that after the UK, we probably go to the Europe, and then Canada, America, New Zealand, Australia, and wherever the Sikhs will call us to do to cast the vote, we will go in every single country whether the 100 Sikhs live in and they want to cast their vote for the freedom.
All right. Paramjeet Singh Sahab, also if we look at India, currently there has been this whole farmers protest that has been going on for more than a year without any form of resolution. This is also one form of the way India is also dealing with the Sikh community inside of India, not giving them any respite, not giving them a solution to their issues, despite them protesting for over a year now of their demands which have not been properly accepted at all. Do you feel that the Sikhs that are present in India are also hand in hand with your movement for the creation of Khalistan?
Yes, we are 200% sure that every single Sikh wants a freedom from India, and India is not giving. That is why India is not giving the right to vote them for the referendum. You know that this is a very peaceful movement. We want India to give their citizens the right to choose whether they want to stay with India, whether they want to stay with the Punjab. So you will see that if the India will give them a right, India will lose Punjab in a days. That is why they are not giving the right to the Sikhs and the farmers on the edges of the edges of Delhi. You can see that it's been more than a year. They are around the Delhi, but are not getting any single changes in the law. So law are not going to be changed. Everybody knows, every farmer knows, this is a fascist state. This is a terrorist state, I can say. So India will never give a justice to the Sikhs. Now it's too late. The love is over. The war begins. War is going to free Punjab ASAP.
All right. And of course, as you say, the Sikhs across the world are hand in hand with you, are of course have the same point of view as you have, because you have also worked a lot towards the benefit of the Sikh community across the world and specifically in India as well. Now, of course, we all know that India has been trying different tactics one way or the other, as it has been trying against Pakistan, as it has been trying against the Muslims of an illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Are you ready to fight all such attempts that will be made by India? You have done that in the past, you are doing so in the present as well. But what if this pressure intensifies? How will you deal with it if they also try to pressurize countries in which you are currently present?
We are, as I just mentioned we are just following the international law. This law has not made by us. The law has been made by the countries we are living in. and they are giving us a right of freedom. They are giving us a right to freedom of speech, freedom of expressions. So we are just following the international law, and the referendum is being under the United Nations guidelines. The referendum is going through the PRC, the Punjab Referendum Commission. This is a statement from the Punjab Referendum Commission on the 31st of October. The Sikhs who demand the freedom from India, they were crazy for the freedom, and they did a benchmark statement from the Punjab Referendum Commission. It was surprising. There was thousands and thousands of people through the queue, and they were not scared from the India. They did tell to the media in front of their cameras, we want Punjab to be free, and we are asking the people of Punjab to vote for the freedom of Punjab, but India is not going to give them a right. Then the Punjabi people should think, are they slaves or are they free? No, they are slaves in their own land. So we need to free the land.
All right. And of course, we understand totally where you come from and all the efforts that you have put in towards this independent state for the Sikh community inside of India, and also for the Sikh community that is residing all across the world. And as you said, you have the support of all the Sikh community from across the world. It is, in your point of view also, and as you very ably said, as per the international laws, that you are following this movement for your rights and the rights of the Sikh people, and that you will leave no stone unturned until and unless you achieve your goals. And of course, as you said, in the next couple of months, you will be going to the United Nations. We wish you all the very best, Paramjeet Singh, Pamma Saab, and also as per you said, it is as per the international law. So we hope that the international law prevails as far as your right for independent state of Khalistan is concerned.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, and through your media, I want to say one more thing, that the referendum is going to took place in Punjab as well. You will see the people of Punjab, if they will not get the right to vote through the ballots, they will use their rights through online votes. So you're gonna see in the coming months, the India is going to ban the internet connections in India, in Punjab. And one more thing I'm gonna tell to the India and wanna tell to the entire world, the Indian forces, even the Indian forces, even the Indian military is against the India, and Punjabis and the whole entire army in India want a freedom of Punjab. And we have got messages and many things I can show to the world. The army in India, even, they do not want to protect India. They do not want to live with India. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Paramjeet Singh, Pamma Saab, to have joined us and to have detailed us about this movement that you are carrying forward for the Sikh community of India, and of course the creation of Khalistan, of which a new map was unveiled on the 31st of October. Let's, as far as we talk about this movement of the Sikh community, this is nothing new. But the oppression of the Sikh community in India is also nothing new. Whether it has been happening in the last few decades or whether it happened through the farmers' protests, the Sikh community, just like the Muslim community, especially in the last few years, have been subject to a lot of oppression. And as per a country that calls itself the largest democracy of the world, it needs to give the rights to the people that form its country. Unfortunately, that has not been the case, and India has been subjecting its minorities to a certain kind of oppression and pressure tactic so that they succumb, and they of course do as per the BJP government of this current time is trying to perpetrate the philosophy of the RSS. And we see the different movements that emanate, whether it be in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, or now for this movement for the independent state of Khalistan in India. These two movements have been gaining momentum, and as per Paramjeet Singh Pamma Sahab, who's joined us from the United Kingdom, he says that the Sikh community from across the world are hand in hand with them, have the same point of view as them, and back them for this independent state of Khalistan. He also declared that a lot of people within India are also with them, and he said that as far as Punjab is concerned, it would only take, once this referendum takes place and once it is approved by the United Nations, it won't take a day for the Punjab region to be separated and be formed as part of Khalistan. He also said that many people within the Indian forces are also not in favor of the current Indian regime, and he also said that they understand their point of view. More after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Our second segment, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Pakistan's diplomatic, moral and political support to this movement and to the people who are striving for their right to self-determination. Now, in this whole context, the OIC leader who was here in Islamabad met with the members of the AJK chapter of the All Parties Hurriyat conference, in which he reiterated the fact that the OIC will continue to strive for the rights of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and their right to self-determination. A number of leaders from the All Parties Hurriyat conference AJK chapter met him, and of course were given this resolve by the OIC that it will continue as it has done in the past, as it has done through as a resolution that was passed in September this year as well. Faiz Naqshbandi Sahab, Hurriyat leader, who was also present in the meeting, joins us right now. Naqshbandi Sahab, thank you very much to have joined us. Naqshbandi Sahab, first of all, how did the meeting with the OIC leader go, and what were his exact statements as far as the OIC's resolve to continue to stand by the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir is concerned?
Thank you very much. We had a very fruitful meeting with the OIC Special Envoy for Jammu and Kashmir, Ambassador Yusuf Al-Dubai, and with other his delegation from OIC. They assured us full support for achieving their right to self-determination, and we, the people of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, are thankful for continuous moral and other support from the OIC countries.
And let Naqshbandi Sahab, also a resolution was passed by the OIC in September, and they have also been striving since quite some time for the rights of the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. How does the All Parties Hurriyat conference on its end want to take forward the resolve of the Kashmiri people?
We, the people of the Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir, stand firmly and with full resolve against Indian might, against the Indian army, 900,000 Indian army, which have been stationed in our homeland, making it a huge prison where every Kashmiri is under arrest. The OIC team was very concerned about the systematic human rights violations by Indian forces in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. They were surprised to know the magnitude of the human rights violations and the systematic in nature. You see, the laws have been framed, and the OIC delegation was apprised about the draconian laws which are in force in Indian occupied Kashmir.
And these draconian laws, Naqshbandi Sahab, continue in the form of this new investigation agency that has been formed in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. This is just a part of this whole pressure tactic in order to make the people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir succumb to the demands of the BJP government. How strong is the resolve of the people of the held region?
It is as strong as it should be. And you can imagine that the innocent people of the Indian occupied Kashmir stood against the Indian might. 900,000 Indian troops, which is a threat to the regional peace and tranquility. And the OIC delegation, they were apprised about the ongoing encounters, disappearances of the innocent people, and the custodial killings, the staged encounters, which has become a daily routine in Indian occupied Jammu and Kashmir. They were concerned.
That is so true, sir. That is so true, and we really hope that a fast and just resolution to this cause of the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir people come quicker than anticipated. Thank you very much, Naqshbandi Sahab, to have joined us. That was Faiz Naqshbandi Sahab, Hurriyat leader, joining us. He was also part of the meeting with the OIC leader today, in which the issue of the plight of the people of the held region was discussed. Dr. Waleed Rasool, Kashmiri activist, also joins us online. Dr. Sahab, thank you very much to have joined us. Dr. Sahab, a lot of work is being done by the all parties Hurriyat conference. A lot of work is also being done by the Kashmiris that are being suppressed in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. But without the support of huge organizations, this movement cannot really reach its conclusion. So how important is this support by the OIC?
Thank you, Bhatt Sahab. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are perfectly audible.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to present pain and agony of my people. And I think that it is Pakistan as a state actor who leaves no stone unturned to make it possible that our pain can be heard internationally. And OIC is one of the important platforms of 57 Muslim nations. And it is in mutual benefit when we are talking about inductive or deductive approaches. And recently, in last month, I gave an comprehensive briefing to OIC 8 members team in the National Assembly Kashmir Committee, and I presented a comprehensive paper based upon that primary data which was generated by Indians herself, how they are bringing the democratic shift in Indian illegal occupied Kashmir. Now it is a continuous process that Pakistan is putting the Kashmir on priority at various levels, particularly at the Foreign Office level and other levels. It is a sign, the lone sign of relief for those who are struggling against a huge, mighty, hard power, in which Mahatma Gandhi himself says that it is difficult to speak the truth to power. And definitely, and when again she was occupied, she was struggling against the colonial British. She was thinking that it is difficult to talk the truth to power of the colonialists. Now we are facing the same wrath by India. Now we definitely feel that it is very difficult to speak a truth to power, but we need the support of those who have himself faced the wrath of colonialism and struggled for right to self-determination. But we have 3 contours in hand. We have 3 dimensions, main dimensions, which are carrying forward the Kashmiri movement. The resolve of the people, the masses of Indian occupied Kashmir, who are continuing their struggle despite a huge cost at multiple levels. And secondary, the enormous, the proper, the right support of the Pakistan in right platforms, and OIC is one among them. And it is an attempt to bring the Kashmiri, Kashmiri struggle from the dilemma which has been created by Indian occupied Kashmir. And but Saab, you have witnessed last month that how sentiment is alive. When Pakistan won the match, they came again on the streets, and they they openly supported that this was a little oxygen provided to the Kashmiri people, and they again came in the roads, and result was that thousands of youth were arrested, and thousands of motorcycles and bikes were always
I mean, the resolve is there. The resolve is there, Dr. Saab, of the youth, of the women, of the men, of the children in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, whereas India leaves no stone unturned to continue to suppress the populace, to continue to deny them their right to self-determination. When and how do you feel this can be achieved? We have the support of the OIC. Pakistan has always been supporting this just cause of the Kashmiri people. Whose support do you further need for this resolution to be put into action? And one of the so many resolutions, Dr. Saab, that are in the United Nations.
So we have to work with the small countries. I have already wrote about the paper. We should think that every UNGC member matters when you are making any issue to the international equilibriums of the power. And recently you have witnessed that Cuba raised the issue in UNGC about the genocide of the Palestinian people, when the Israelis said that there should be a 1 minute silence. It means,
and that was followed by the statement that there should be a 1 minute silence for the Palestinians as well.
Put the resolution of the Rohingya in UNGA, that matters. And secondly, it is Pakistan who supports the Kashmiri movement, and what you already said, that sentiment is intact. In most critical situation, when the degree of mayhem, when the degree of occupational wrath touches the maximum limit, that what only you can do, that is you keep your sentiment and resolve intact. That is the guarantee.
All right. Dr. Saab, one thing you talked about, we've talked about the United Nations resolutions, and there are so many resolutions that are there. The first resolution, in fact, was brought by India itself in 1948. Despite the fact no tangible action has been taken because of the reaction by India, which calls Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir an internal issue of India, when it has not been since 1948 an internal issue of India. What now do you feel the United Nations is capable enough to tell India to follow course as far as these resolutions is concerned? I'd like a short answer on that, sir.
So it is not a matter of the capability. They have the capability, but it is a matter of our capacity. It is the matter between wish and the resolve, between wish and the dream. We have to build our capacity, because there is a one major impediment, that is quantity from Indian side and the quality from our side. We have to build our quality. That quality matters in international equivalence of the power.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Waleed Rasool, Kashmiri activist, joining us, and of course giving us details about this whole movement that has been gaining momentum over the decades, despite the suppressive nature of the Indian government, and of course the presence of the 900,000 plus troops inside the held region. The people of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir continue to strive for their right to self-determination. The Jammu Martyrs' Day that was held on the 6th of November 2021 was just a testament in that regard. Let's go to our last stories very quickly, ladies and gentlemen. The first is on the Afghan Taliban, who have appointed governors and military commanders on key positions on the provincial levels on the directives of the group's supreme leader Mullah Haibatullah Akhundzada. This was declared on Sunday to the media by the spokesperson of the Taliban, Zabiullah Mujahid, and he unveiled the names of new provincial governors, deputy governors, military commanders, whether it be that of Kabul. Qari Baryal is that in Kabul. Mufti Muhammad Idris will serve as his deputy. Wali Jan Hamza will be the military commander of the Afghan capital, interim Afghanistan government. Of course, there are different provinces as well. Will it be Paktia, where Muhammad Ali is going to be the governor. Nisar Ahmed will be the governor of Kunduz, while Qari Bakhtiar and Haji Mali Khan have been appointed as governors of Baghlan and Logar provinces, respectively. And of course, different details were given as far as these different leadership that will take command under the new government of the Afghan Taliban is concerned. Now, let's go towards a tweet by our Minister for Information, Fawad Chaudhry Saab, in which he lauded Pakistan's efforts as far as COVID-19 is concerned. He tweeted about an article that came out by The Economist, an article that was published in The Economist that talked about Pakistan topping a list of the normalcy index, which shows how successful Pakistan has been as far as fighting COVID-19 is concerned if we compare it to the other countries, because if we see right now also the percentage of COVID patients has reached a new low, but nevertheless we need to be extremely careful because winter is upon us and it is in this season that the pandemic normally peaks. Nevertheless, it has been appreciated. Pakistan's efforts have been appreciated worldwide, and this is what has been shown in this table by The Economist, and this is what has also been tweeted by our Minister for Information, Fawad Chaudhry Saab, who of course congratulated Pakistan on this achievement. And of course, it is a collective effort of the government, of the administration, of the different authorities and the people of Pakistan as well, who contributed towards Pakistan coming to this stage. And finally, on a very sad note, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about the passing away of celebrated drummer Zulfikar Ali, otherwise known as Pappu Sain. He was one of the most revered of his kind in Punjab. More in the following report.
The incredible Dhol maestro Pappu Sain, known for his power-packed performances at the shrine of Baba Shah Jamal and beyond, passed away in Lahore following a prolonged illness. The celebrated drummer had been suffering from liver cancer and admitted to the Pakistan Kidney and Liver Transplant Institute for almost a month. A recipient of Tamgha Imtiaz, Pappu Sain won accolades for his skill not only in Pakistan but also abroad and came up with performances at local and international festivals. As a flag bearer of Sufi tradition in playing on a drum, Pappu Sain remained committed to his roots and gave a new dimension to the art of dhol playing and have avoided adopting commercial style. Expressing grief over the demise of Pappu Sain, Federal Minister for Information and Broadcasting Chaudhry Fawad Sain observed that he first heard Pappu Sain's drum in Shah Jamal and understood why and how important the role of drummers was when armies came face to face in the old days. While paying tribute to the late drummer, the Information Minister also shared a video of Pappu Sain playing drums. The internationally renowned folk dhol player, who ruled the hearts of thousands of people with his soulful and mystique craft, highlighted the soft image of Pakistan all over the world with his talent. Pappu Sain was an asset for Pakistan. His art, which gave a new identity to South Asian drum beating, will keep on inspiring millions.
And of course, millions will continue to be inspired, whether it be from this generation, our older generations, or the generations to come, because we have him on celluloid, we have him on the social media. Pappu Sain is a legend that will never fade away, come what may. And he will always remain a name that will be associated with Pakistan, with its culture, with its heritage, and with its traditions. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new stories that matter to us, you, and Pakistan. Till then, stay safe, follow the protocols as far as COVID-19 as dengue is concerned, and also get yourselves vaccinated. Allah Hafiz.